What's up, guys? Chris here, the Unprofessional Dad, and I'm back with another knife video. Alright, so I'm about to go live, but before I do, I wanted to pump out a really quick video because someone asked me a couple days ago in an email a question. They asked me my opinion about something. I gave them a few answers, but I told them that I would put a video out. I kind of forgot about it for a few days, but I was sitting here, I remembered it. I was like, shoot, I owe them a video, so I'm going to do this. Their question is this, and some of you all have said the same exact thing in comments before, and in live streams, conversations, emails, things like that. I don't know where they live. I have no idea. West Coast, East Coast, I don't know. But they live somewhere along the ocean. They live very close to the beach. They live in an area where blades get corroded and rusted really, really easy. High humidity, moisture, stuff like that. And it wreaks havoc on his knives. He said he needs something very tough because he beats on his knives. He uses them for work. He also takes them camping and stuff. He lives in an area where he, does a lot with foliage and woods and fires and stuff. And I mean, he needs a knife that can take some abuse, but he also needs a blade steel that is really good on the corrosion resistant side. So I gave him a few ideas. I told him a few. He wants something that's not extremely expensive, that's not super rare. So that's I'm still going to say a couple blade steels, but they might be eliminated for him just because of their scarcity, the number of options that are out there in these blade steels. But I'm going to give you a rundown. Now, also let me say this. I don't like doing videos like this. I don't. I like doing reaction videos where I can take a knife right out of the box. I can tell you what I think about it because I don't have to be a subject matter expert on that. I just know how I like it. If I like it or if I don't, that's it. Does it feel good in the hand? Does it not? Do I like the look of it? Do I not? This ain't one of those. I'm the first to admit I don't know very much about knives and blade steels. I've only been collecting for a couple years, so I'm still new to this game. I learn everything from you all. So some of the stuff that I might say right now, you all might disagree with or think that I'm wrong about. But I do know how to read charts, read Knife Steel Nerds, look at comparisons, take in the things that I've heard, take in the things that I've seen, the comparisons online, the different rating scales and stuff like that. I know how to absorb that stuff, retain it, and regurgitate it. But again, I am not an expert, so I do get stuff wrong. So take all this with a grain of salt. It is what it is. I'm the first to admit that. So if you hear something that you think is wrong, don't beat me up in the comments and tell me how dumb I am or whatever. I already know that, trust me. All right, so here's the thing. You got two different things. You got folders and you've got fixed blades. And in my opinion, those are two different needs completely. There are things that you're going to do with folders that you're not going to do with fixed blades, and vice versa. They just are. So what you'll need for a fixed blade and what you need for a folder might be similar, but it also might be vastly different. For instance, let's get into some, I don't know. I think he's probably going to be needing a fixed blade more with what he's talked about. So let's just go ahead and get to the fixed blades first, and then we'll talk about folders. I'm going to give you a couple different options. Number one, like I told him, there is no better option all the way around than right here, MagnaCut. And there, for several different reasons. Number one, this is, as I've said, every video, that's going to be a good one. So I've said this before. MagnaCut is the Goldilocks steel. Because it is so well rounded. You know, when she was looking for the porridge, one was too hot, one was too cold, one was just right. The chair, hard, soft, just right. The bed, same exact way. When you're looking for a blade steel, you need something that's well rounded. There are blade steels that are super, super high in edge retention. I mean, 15V, S110. I mean, all these. But then you go beating on them, and they're going to be chippy, they're going to snap, they're going to break. Are you looking for corrosion resistance? 15V, that's got great edge retention, but it's out. It's also not going to be tough to beat on. So it's out. MagnaCut is a blade steel that's going to have the best of most worlds that you're looking for. Not the best. It's not going to have the highest level of toughness. It's not going to have the highest level of corrosion resistance or the edge retention or anything for that matter. It doesn't have the highest levels of anything, I don't think. But what it does have is it has a balance across the board. Where some are really good in one area but poor in the other, MagnaCut is right there in the middle across the board. So when you're getting this, you might not get the knife that has the most tough blade steel, but you're going to get a knife that is tough. Might not have the best edge retention, but it's going to have good edge retention. And corrosion resistance is one of those things that it is really high in. So if you are in an area where you need something that is really, really good in corrosion resistance, but you're going to beat on it a lot, you're going to abuse your knives, it is hard to beat MagnaCut. Another reason why I recommend MagnaCut right off the bat, number one, probably more than anything, is because of how many daggone knives are coming out in MagnaCut these days. We're seeing more and more options. So scarcity is not going to be an issue you're going to run into with MagnaCut. There are going to be a ton of options for you to choose from in MagnaCut. There are going to be different price ranges. And one of the things about, the law of supply and demand is the more that is out there, the lower the cost goes because there are so many more options. If there's not a lot of knives out there as options in MagnaCut, you're going to pay more for MagnaCut. But if everywhere you turn you see MagnaCut, it's going to bring that cost down. It's just going to do it. It's just the law of supply and demand. It's the law of economics. And it is going to do that with this blade steel. So you're going to see a lot of options out there. You're going to have good results from MagnaCut, and you're going to have options that aren't going to break your bank, so to speak. So now, are there expensive MagnaCut blades? Absolutely. This is the TJ Schwartz Overland. I think it's the best all-around fixed blade made right now, in my opinion. I don't have every fixed blade out there. I don't know. There's probably a ton of fixed blades out there better than this. I just haven't used them, haven't held them, and I'm not experienced with them, so I don't know. In my experience and from what I've used and held and experienced, the TJ Schwartz Overland is the best all around. Now, if you're talking EDC, we're going for the Guardian. If you're talking for outdoor stuff, we're going in another area. But all around, the Overland is hard to beat. You can take this out there. You can beat on it. You can use this for a camping knife. You can use it for a survival knife. You can use it for an EDC knife. You can use it pretty much for anything that you want, and it's going to live up to it, your expectations, and give you the exact performance that you're needing and expecting and wanting from this blade. So it's a fantastic knife, and TJ Schwartz is doing awesome things. Whether you're talking about the Lost Trail 5, the Overland Sport, whatever, he's got some awesome stuff. But this does come with a pretty penny. This is at $300, so it's not cheap. It comes with a really nice Kydex sheath. You can actually go on there and build them your own with the different colors and handles and different color Kydex and the eyelets or whatever they're called here. I can't remember what those things are called. I don't know why I'm calling that. That might be the term for them. I don't know. But you got different colors for all this stuff, so you can build basically your knife. But it's going to be you can get Richlite or Micarta, whatever, for your handles. But they're great for ergonomics and a lot of different things. But MagnaCut is the where I'm going there. Not necessarily the knife, it's the blade. MagnaCut is one of those blades that you're just going to get what you're wanting and needing. And I think that probably right off the bat, right out of the gate, that's going to be, in my opinion, your best option across the board is MagnaCut. But there are other blade steels out there that are corrosion resistant that gives you different things that you want. Like, for instance, I'm going to show you this. This is my Lion Steel M5. Okay, this is a great knife. This is a great camping knife, great survival knife, whatever you want. It's a beautiful knife. Comes with the leather sheath. This thing is awesome. It's a fantastic knife. Heavy, big, bulky, thick blade stock. I mean, it's going to be a great knife that you can abuse. This is an M390. And honestly, the price on this ain't that bad. You can get these for around $190. They have different handles. You can get them with Micarta or G10 handles. They are the canoed handles, taco, canoe, whatever you want to call it, where it's one piece, and they literally lay the blank right down in there. So the blank of the steel, I mean. So it just holds the tang and like a canoe. So, but comes with the leather sheath, all around a great knife. All around great knife. And this will perform really, really well. But is this going to be your best option? I don't think so. In fact, I can tell you a blade steel right now that you can get for more affordable prices than this, that's going to be tougher than this. And what is that? That's this right here. This is Böhler N690. M390, N690. Now, the comparisons are this. This is going to be a harder blade steel. It's going to have a higher hardness. It's going to have better edge retention. It's a better super steel. Premium steel. M390 is better than N690, in my opinion. But, all right, so why would I recommend N690 over N390? Because of one thing. When you're talking about an outdoor blade steel that you're beating on, that needs to be tough, M390 is so hard and has such good edge retention, it can become brittle or chippy, especially in the situations where you're beating on it and abusing it. N690 has a higher toughness to it. Now you're still getting exceptional corrosion resistance, but you're going to get more toughness. You're not going to get the edge retention that you're going to get with M390. You're not going to get the hardness that you're getting with this. But you're still getting a really good quality blade steel that gives you those things, decent edge retention, great corrosion resistance, but it's going to have more toughness than M390. Another good thing about N690 is the price is lower than M390. It's more affordable, and there are plenty of options out there. In fact, I'm going to show you a knife right now that is a fantastic quality knife. You can use it for EDC, outdoors, whatever you want, and it's made at N690, and it's well under $100. I think they're like $80, something like that. And that is the Petrified Fish Beluga. Now this is in N690. It's a great blade steel, and it is a thicker blade stock. I have no doubt if I took this and needed to beat on it in a camping situation, survival situation, it's going to do well. First of all, the fit and finish on this knife is fantastic because it's Petrified Fish, and that's their like go-to signature thing that sets them apart is their fit and finish. They look fantastic. They feel good. They look good. They don't have a lot of blemishes on a Petrified Fish knife. Now, it might not have the best blade steel, might not have the best materials, but what they do give you, they go the extra mile to make sure that it is a well-rounded, polished, nice looking piece, and that is what you get with the Beluga. This is a great looking knife all the way around. It looks and feels like a more premium option. You get a Taco Kydex sheath with the loops, and fantastic knife. And you can get this under $100 for N690. So if you're in an area that's high corrosion area because of humidity or you're dealing with a lot of water and stuff, you can use this and it's going to do really, really well for you. Now, another great blade steel that is going to be easy to find and it's really, really good for what you're looking for is AEBL. Now, AEBL, I've said this before in some of my videos, and some people think that I'm wrong about this. AEBL is on a lot of premium knives. For instance, I have a couple right here. I have a TKL. Now, this is a smaller knife. This is the TKL fixed blade that I got at Blade Show. And fantastic knife. Just a fantastic knife. I'll link all these in the description below. AEBL is going to give you the corrosion resistance and the toughness that you're looking for from a knife. And AEBL is also everywhere. I have again, these are smaller, so these aren't really examples for like outdoors. I'm just showing you that you can find them on a lot of different knives. I have a Bradford Guardian here in AEBL. What, 130, 140? Now this is more expensive, about 250. But AEBL is a really good blade steel. Now the reason that I would still go with N690 are not... There's really good comparisons between AEBL and N690. I think N690 is just going to outperform it. I do. I think N690 is going to outperform it for what you're needing in that situation that you're talking about, abusing it, beating on it, stuff like that. Now, the one thing that AEBL is going to have over N690 is AEBL is going to be a little bit easier to sharpen for you. So if you're somebody that does struggle with sharpening, you don't like to spend a lot of time maintaining your knives, sharpening your knives, AEBL might be the way to go, because you're going to find a lot of options out there with AEBL. You can find them anywhere from $100 up to $300 or $400, depending on what knife brand you're getting and what knife blade you're getting. But it's going to perform really well, but it's going to be easier to sharpen than like your N690. N690 is not extremely hard, but it's definitely tougher to sharpen than an AEBL. So that might be something that you consider when looking at these blade steels. Should I go with something like AEBL because I want to spend less time sharpening it, more time using it? Then AEBL would be a great option for you. All in all, there's a lot of great options. Other great options that you can use. Vanax. Vanax is a great blade steel. Fantastic. I'm going to show this in the folder, but I'll show it right now as well. This is my quiet carry. Vanax is probably all around. If you're going to be in moisture, using it in water and stuff like that, getting it wet a lot of times, you can't beat Vanax. It is such a daggone good blade steel for that. For corrosion resistance, the high level of corrosion resistance is insane. But it's expensive and it's really scarce. You don't find a lot of options out there in Vanax. You just don't. Can you find them? Yes. Are there a lot of them? No. Will you pay out the price or out the eyes for it? Absolutely. Because of scarcity, law of supply and demand, and because of its quality. Now, an option to consider that gives you similar things to Vanax, and it's also close to MagnaCut, is Elmax. Elmax is one of those blade steels that's extremely tough. Extremely tough. Great edge retention, but also has really, really good corrosion resistance. Now, the thing about Elmax is it is more readily available than Vanax. You can find Elmax all over the place. Elmax is still an expensive blade steel, but you are going to get what you're wanting out of it. I think that MagnaCut is still the way to go, but Elmax is a great alternative. It's got a lot of the qualities and characteristics of a blade steel that you're needing living along the ocean. You can beat on it. It's going to be tough. It's going to have great edge retention, but the corrosion resistance is going to be really, really high. Elmax is a great alternative. All in all, if it was me and I had to make a call on a knife that I was using in your situation, hands down, it would be one of two. It would be MagnaCut or it would be N690. That's what I would use. There's a ton of other options that you can use. VG10 is an affordable one. That's really affordable. You can find VG10 blade steels all over the place. That's good corrosion resistance. I mean, decent toughness, edge retention. It's a budget blade steel, kind of, that you can find on more premium knives sometimes, but it's still kind of affordable, but it does give you good results in performance. You know, you can find more affordable options out there. 154 is a really good one. Tough, good corrosion resistance. Going to be harder to sharpen, more maintenance than N690. Harder to work with than N690. So for me, it would be MagnaCut or N690. but MagnaCut is probably where I would go. Just remember this. You can watch all these videos you want. You can learn all that you want from people like me, or people, no, not people like me, because I don't know much of anything. You can learn a lot by watching people on YouTube that do know. A lot of these channels, Metal Complex, Nice Fast, Bees, you can watch these guys and they are good at what they do. They know their stuff and they can tell you pretty much whatever you need to know. But there is no substitute for personal growth and study. Look up Knife Steel Nerds. Look at the charts. They have all the blade steels and all the numbers. They have the numbers right there. So if you're looking at MagnaCut, it will tell you on a scale of 1 to 10, where does toughness come in at? Where does corrosion resistance come in at? Where does edge retention come in at? Where does hardness come in at? It'll tell you those numbers. So you take all 4 of those numbers and then you compare it with another knife. Oh, this knife, this Elmax, where's that coming in at? Oh, well, here it's higher than MagnaCut, but here it's lower than MagnaCut. And you weigh your options of what you need, and you make your own personal decisions. Knife Steel Nerds is a great place to learn. Dr. Larry Thomas is a genius with this stuff. He knows what he's talking about. And MagnaCut, need I say more? All the answers are there. So you can watch all these videos and they're great and they're quick reference tools, but no substitute for personal growth and personal knowledge and personal study, learning for yourself, looking at those things and gaining your own answers. Now, if I was going to go with a folder, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different because with the folder, I wouldn't be expecting to go out there and absolutely beat on it like an insanely amount of stuff. But you're still going to need something with good toughness, great edge retention. But above all, you still need something with high levels of corrosion resistance because you're living next to the ocean. So corrosion resistance is still the number one thing that you're going for. And we can just skip straight to it. MagnaCut is still going to be the best answer. But here's the thing. With folders, you don't have to choose MagnaCut because there are blades out there, blade steels, that are going to give you the things that you need, but you got a lot more options. There's only certain blade steels that I would use going and beating on, but folding knives, let's look at, we already talked about Elmax and Vanax. Both of those, exactly what I told you, but now you're talking about a folder. MagnaCut, exactly what I told you, well-rounded, but now you're talking about a folder. Let's talk about, you asked me in the email, you needed something with high edge retention, and I can't remember if you asked me about 10V or what it was. I have to read that email back. Let me know in the comment. You'll know who you are. I'll just read the email back. But we did talk about 15V. And I told you about how I was getting into these Spyderco 15Vs because of their edge retention. But here's the thing. They're not stainless. They're not stainless. So they're out. And in the area where you are, patina's nice and all. Getting one of these knives with patina, they look really, really sweet when it's that patina. But you're talking about another level. You're just talking about going straight to corroded and rusted in an area that you're talking about. Unless you maintain this every day and wax it and use oils and stuff, your knife is not going to do well 15V or 10V or 3V. They're just not. There's a lot of blade steels. Rex 121, great edge retention, but it's not going to be very tough. That's another thing about 15V. It's not going to be very tough. You're not going to be able to do it. S90V and S110, we talked about that in email, and I told you these were great for the stainless and the edge retention, but these are not going to be that tough. They're going to be chippy and brittle if you start chopping or trying to do any tough stuff with them. These are meant to be high edge retention knives, S90V, S110. Now, it doesn't mean that it's not a great knife and it's not going to hold up well. Corrosion resistance is off the charts with these knives, S90 and S110. But you're looking at not very tough. I'll tell you a really good one. Where is it? All right, here. S35VN. I think S35VN is one of the, well, number one, you find it everywhere in folding knives. It's readily available. You can get S35VN knives under $100 all day long on Amazon, cold steel especially. S35VN is a really, really good blade steel because you're going to be getting the edge retention of an S30V or something like that, but you're going to have a little bit more toughness. Now, if you jump up to S45VN, here's the comparison. This is a Hinderer, an S45. This is an S35 cold steel, 8010. This is going to be tougher. S45, though, is going to have a little bit better corrosion resistance. So S45 might be better for you in your area. You won't find as many options in S45 as you do in S35, so it might cost you a little bit more, but S45 is a great option for somebody needing the corrosion resistance. You're getting the toughness, not quite the toughness of S35VN. S35VN is more tough than S45VN. But S45VN is going to be higher in level of corrosion resistance, if that makes sense. And yes, I do know that when you start getting into these blade steels, into these numbers and the different things, it does get confusing. That's why you need to read the charts and learn for yourself. Because people throwing all this stuff, it'll go in one ear and out the other. Just remember, S35, it seems like it would be the opposite. The higher the number goes, the better it gets. Not necessarily. Not necessarily, because you're talking about compositions of blade steels and chemistry here. S35 is tougher, maybe a little bit better edge retention. S45 is going to be better for corrosion resistance, but you're still going to get a very tough blade steel. It's close to this, just a little bit better corrosion resistance. So if I was in that area, S35 would do you well, but S45 I think would do you better. And I told you that in email. I would probably go with S45 over S35 just because of the corrosion resistance. And I think that was probably what I recommended above everything, was S45, just because I like S45 a lot and I've got it on a few knives and I like it. M390 and 20CV, really great. Great edge retention, great toughness, great corrosion resistance. Are they the best options? They're readily available. I'll tell you one that I really, really like. I really like it a lot, and that's XHP. And I have XHP. I have a couple of them right here. Right here is the Spartan Blade Astor. And I'm telling you right now, this might be the knife for you. Honestly, you can get this for around $145. A great folding knife. XHP is tough, great corrosion resistance, good edge retention. It doesn't have the corrosion resistance of like an N690, but it beats it in other areas like edge retention. So XHP is a great option for you. I also have a Spyderco Shaman in XHP. I really like XHP. It gives you a lot of the characteristics that you're looking for. Here's the thing. Your area, there are a lot of blade steels out there that are going to be good for your area because of the corrosion resistance. All these different blade steels that we're talking about, 154, Elmax, they're all going to be good because of the corrosion resistance. But you need specific things. You don't just need corrosion resistance. You need toughness. And when you're bringing in the toughness part, you're going to eliminate a lot of these blade steels. So automatically, you're taking S90V off the charts. You're taking anything, the 10Vs, 15Vs, taking it out of the charts. Rex 121, I mean, off the table, no longer good. You're taking all those. Van X off the table. It's just not, there's not enough options out there, and I don't think from what you said, it's the price range that you're looking for. Elmax, I think, is probably the best all-around version for you. If not for this right here, this is a knife that I would recommend for anybody in your situation. I think that the Astor from Spartan Blades would be a fantastic knife for somebody that needed a high corrosion resistance knife that is extremely tough. I think that the XHP Astor would be fantastic. Plus, I just absolutely love this knife. It's got probably some of the best ergonomics I've ever felt on a knife. I've given these away on the channel. I love this daggone knife, and I've said it a million times. I can't brag on this knife enough. A little hard to sharpen. I will be honest there. A little hard to sharpen. I ain't gonna... You struggle with the sharpening, but it is what it is. Like S90V, S110, all that stuff is just off the table, you know? It is. So, again, with fixed blades, MagnaCut or N690. With folders, for what you're looking for, I'd probably go with Elmax or S45VN or MagnaCut. MagnaCut is an automatic. I mean, you can't go wrong with MagnaCut. But I would go with Elmax or S45VN. I love S45VN. It's not going to have the toughness of the Elmax or anything like that, but it's going to have really, really good corrosion resistance. And that is the number one thing that you need. And I do think that S45VN will be tough enough to do the things that you need a folder to do. Good enough edge retention, things like that. So yeah, Elmax. Oh, and Elmax, there's all kinds of knives that you can get in Elmax these days. All kinds of knives. I got tons of knives in Elmax. Well, not tons, probably 8-10 knives in Elmax. These Chavez blue labels coming out in Elmax, those are sweet. You can get these for decent prices. You can get these for around $140 up to $160. These are great knives. Super tough, super strong, super durable. Liner locks, micarta handles. Great knives. Great look, premium quality, Chavez, but they got Elmax blade steel. So there's just a ton of them that you can get, you know. You just got so many different options. 20CV, M390. 20CV is going away, but M390 will still be here. But 20CV is a fantastic blade steel, which 20CV and M390 everybody knows is pretty much the same exact composition. But all the things you want. I just don't think that it's going to be as tough is some of the things that you might need it to do. It's going to be great edge retention, great corrosion resistance, but when you start beating on it, will it be chippy? Will it be for what you're needing? For what you're needing. The average person, it wouldn't be a problem. But from what you were saying in the email, you need specific things from your knives. And I hope this hasn't been too confusing. I told you in the email, it can get... Oh, and one last blade steel, LC200N. I don't have a knife in that. LC200N is a great blade steel. Spyderco has some knives in LC200N. Spyderco, their Salt series, I can't believe I didn't say that. No further thing is required. Just go with the Spyderco Salt series. They literally made those knives for people like you in your situation. Spyderco Salt series. You get one of the Spyderco Salt series knives and you're going to be just fine. They will give you everything that you need in a knife. Now you're going to pay a little bit more for them, but honestly, there's no way around that. No way around that. Unless you go like 14C or something like that. And you can do that. 154, you can do that. And I think they'll do well. But it just seems like you needed something a little bit better than that. So Hope these answers were not too awful confusing. Remember, take it with a grain of salt. I don't know half of what I'm talking about. It is what it is. I'm just mumbling through most of this. All right. I'm Chris, the Unprofessional Dad. Links in the description below. I wish all of you sharp knives and happy lives. I will see you in the next one. Now it's time to go over here and do a live. I will see you all here in a few minutes.